Hi guys, my name is Zach. I'm with Goods Automotive. I'm here at my big location over here in Puyallup. Super excited to kind of show that off. I've got 13 bays, 11,000 square feet, and a team of 5 amazing technicians.
Hey Zach!
Hello, what's up, Cheyenne?
How are you?
Good.
So good to see you.
Yeah, move in. What are we doing for you?
I need an oil change.
Ooh,
Hoping
too
you
easy.
can help.
Too easy. Alrighty, Cheyenne, I got you done, all wrapped up, ready to roll.
Thank you.
Everything's looking good for now. Just make sure you're being careful on the road. Avoid the curbs.
I'll do my best to stay in my lane of HR because those curbs come out of nowhere. I am really looking forward to seeing you on the podcast.
Me too, I think it's gonna be a blast.
I'm Reed Fetters with Tacoma Rising. We're kicking off season 5. We're back to the entrepreneurs. I'm here with 2 good friends of mine. And you know what? In fact, I'm going to let them introduce themselves since they're such good friends.
So this is Cheyanne Schaefer, a recent friend of mine about the last year, but it feels like I've known her for probably a lifetime at this point. We met, I want to say about a year ago at the Grand Business Association, and just had run into each other a couple times in crossing, but very, very quick friendship. Just one of the people I knew I could trust off the bat the most. But she owns her own human resources consulting business called Cascade HR. She's also the SHRM president for the state of Washington. Is it the SHRM Council?
Yeah, the SHRM State Council.
Yeah, so just another thing too about Cheyanne is I actually got to know more about her background through other friends and through other people that have done a lot of work with her. So titan of her industry and what she does, super excited for the growth you've seen and where you're going too. So.
Thanks, Zach. Well, I'm excited to introduce you. So as he said, we met about a year ago, and what really made me laugh about Zach is that he welcomes you with laughter. Like every time I meet this guy and talk with him, he's laughing. And so I'm the same way, and I decided this is a person that I need to get to know. And turns out that Zach has been in the automotive industry for about a decade.
8 years. 8 years, yep.
Yeah. And he started with doing oil changes and then worked his way up. Now he does business development. And he leads business development better than even some of the most professional business people that I've seen because he leads it so authentically. And that's why I really just love being able to network with him and build business together.
Thanks.
You guys did a great job. Well done.
Yeah, I'm glad, man. I was a little nervous.
So you guys, all right, so you guys don't work together. You're in different businesses.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you met at a networking event.
Yep.
Is that accurate? Which one was it again?
I think it was either the Grand Business Association
It
or
was actually Rotary, I think.
Was it Rotary?
Yeah, it was
First time?
the
Okay.
coffee with the principal.
Oh,
Or the
yeah.
superintendent.
You met my boss on the same day. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was coffee with the superintendent for the Bethel School District. That's
Yeah.
what it was, yep.
And have you guys ever had a transaction together? Like your business doing B2B, or has it all been...
Technically, you gave me a free oil change.
Yeah.
You
Didn't
were-
pay for it, though.
Yeah.
Not
Cheyenne's
really
for
a transaction. That's fair.
Cheyenne's for sure like a customer of ours, and soon to be like very proudly as we're a growing company too, somebody that I get to consult with moving forward here pretty soon. So, especially as we've expanded and grown, like the systems of people become really, really important. So I couldn't ask for anybody better to collaborate with moving forward with Goods Automotive for sure.
And Goods did fix a problem with my Jeep that I had taken to multiple mechanics and nobody could figure it out.
Yeah, it was something
They
goofy,
figured it
too.
out in like 30 minutes, and it was just somebody that had worked on it previously left something in there they shouldn't have. They removed it.
Well,
So that was great.
Yeah,
you're living up to your name. That's good. I like that.
try, man. It's an effort.
So no transaction. You guys work in different industries, yet you've met through networking at a networking event, and you guys now I know you guys do a lot of things together, collaborating and stuff like that. It's exciting to hear that because this the whole point of this season is basically talking about building businesses, whether you started or you're building it, not having to do it alone.
Yeah.
And I think being an entrepreneur can be very, very lonely. And you guys clearly are not lonely. You guys got a great chemistry together, and you're working outside your fields and doing things together. And yeah, I think that's exciting, and we need more of that. And that's something we're going to be pushing in Tacoma more and more. So, thank you for being our first example of this. Kind of the guinea pigs. I like that. Thank you.
Yeah, and there's like something to be said too about what you're doing with like Tacoma Rising too, because as somebody who's networked kind of all over Tacoma, there's not really anybody pushing for that direction in this city, man. I'd like so thankful that there's a place where we can come and you never know who you're gonna meet or what connections you'll make or like genuinely where that will put you tomorrow. So that's a huge thing, man. Just for you guys and what you're doing. So cool.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And you
I'd
guys,
agree. I wanted
sorry.
to say really quick, I think entrepreneurship historically is known to be a lonely road, and they say it's so lonely at the top because of how hard it is. But our community here and what you're doing, it helps that road actually not be lonely. And I love what you're doing, just like Zach said. And I love that Zach, he's a prime example of how you can have a partner, completely different industries. You'd never think that an HR person and an automotive person would come together.
Seriously.
That sounds like a bad bar joke, but but it works.
Yeah. No, I think that says a lot for just the people that we're connecting, or hopefully that we're connecting. When I started Tacoma Rising, the whole point of it was to connect like-minded people and find those Tacoma believers out there. And I say this all the time. And I think that the group of folks that have just naturally come together over time has been phenomenal. Yeah. And it is lonely. It's really, really lonely, but it doesn't have to be. And that's the beauty of it. And I feel that one of the biggest problems that Tacoma has are these siloed organizations and businesses, and we're not working together enough. And we don't have those big corporations to lead the way with all those corporate dollars. We need to combine the workforce and get people together and start thinking together as, hey, you know what, we have an end goal, and there are a lot of ways to get there, but if we can agree on the end goal, it'll be a lot better for us. So, Cheyanne, what does your day-to-day look like? What does the world of HR look like through your lens?
Yeah, great question. I would say every day is slightly different. In addition to being an owner of Cascade HR, growing the team and growing the business, I'm up to 6 employees now, opened a storefront last month. So things there are full steam ahead, right? Then, like Zach mentioned, president of the state council. So I'm always staying up to date with different legislation that's taking place, supporting 13, 15 different chapters across Washington state. And then the one thing that wasn't mentioned is I also am a business professor at Tacoma Community College. And so I also teach. I have 5 classes a quarter, and I support about 100 different students. So every day I'm all over the place between those different things. But what's really nice is they all support each other. And I'm balancing supporting businesses with their needs and understanding what is going on, and then also seeing the future workforce, which any business owner can agree it's a major problem between the workforce that's entering the current workforce and then also what they're looking for in employees. There's a disconnect. And so being able to be at the forefront of that and strategize with that, work with business owners to get in front of it and help prepare students for that next step. Between meetings, presentations, doing workshops, going to client sites, whether it's interviewing, investigations, drug tests, anything and everything, terminating people. Sometimes it gets dark. But overall, I just try to bring kindness into it with the goal of we can always do better. And how are we working toward that?
Agreed. And I think when you and I just reconnected recently, it was more about this podcast and having you come on or coming to the Kickstarter as a mentor. And we had started talking, and I did not realize that you were a professor at TCC, and that was at the time that we were trying to get more business school or business programs from the local colleges to be involved with the challenge in April.
Yeah.
And when you told me that, all of a sudden I was like, holy cow, there's a lot more here, and it snowballed. And you mentioned something earlier about that you do several different things, but they all work together.
Yeah.
And I feel like, and I don't know if that's a common thing today, that people are doing more and more things because they just feel like they have to, or you and I have a serious problem about being a serial entrepreneur or entrepreneurs. But I know how that is, and I feel like when you create those businesses and you're working together and they work together, it's super fulfilling when it all comes together and it works.
Yeah.
But it opens a lot more doors and allows you to connect with people like Zach and others. And when you draw those folks in, it's like there's more things to connect with, and it just keeps going. And that's what I feel like Tacoma Rising for me has brought out.
Yeah.
Those different touch points, even if it's one person.
Yeah.
So I'm going on, and I'm going to stop myself, which I don't typically do. Zach, how about you? What does a day-to-day look like for you?
Sure, man. Yeah. Day to day for me, one day I'm, basically a CEO of a company. The next I'm an outside sales guy. And then after that, am like Friday I was filling in at my new shop, just service writing for customers again. So I'm kind of all over the business, and that's kind of how I came up with Goods Automotive specifically. So I spent a couple of years working for a bigger chain automotive shop and really just live the pain points of my industry from the bottom up. I got to Goods Automotive in 2021. I was their first service writer by title, so I engineered that position, came up with the policies, procedures for that, helped build the team from there, kicked my boss out of service managing because he was trying to be a general manager and a service manager and this and that and here and there, as like most young businesses are. You wear a lot of hats. So I freed him up to get some more time for some higher level stuff. And then I got to work like building all of our systems of operations and things like that, and really, really galvanizing our approach to like automotive repair. And then about a year ago, we got to a point where we started to do really, really well. We started to work with people. We collaborated at a higher level, especially like on the marketing side of things. And I got back from a vacation, and the owner of my company and my boss said, okay, well, we tried to do this kind of outreach, marketing, networking, the whole thing, go do marketing, right? That's what everybody says, is the do marketing mentality. But so they put me in that role, and it was not a role that I was like super excited to take on, but I've come to love it. So I came from very measurable day to day, where I knew I was doing a good job. I knew that I was making an impact, and I could help build, systematically from like a framework perspective. To, okay, now my first networking event ever was like a ribbon cutting for the Puyallup Sumner Chamber at a Walmart where there's 400 people and I don't know anybody. Mm-hmm. So the last year of my day-to-day has been walking into a lot of rooms, getting to know people, and really just trying to build the brand. I went from helping people through hard decisions with their automotive repair. I'm still just an automotive service professional, but now I'm educating people on the brand, why we're different, and how we're going to get there. So
you sound like as an entrepreneur.
Yeah, man, these days there's a lot of, I'm up till 4 a.m., mm-hmm. Like I could have very easily been the marketing director and taken that as a title and sat at my desk and, focused more on pulling data and making data-driven decisions, or I could get out every day, go and meet people, actually pound pavement and do something different, and then do some of that at night, Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's nights I'm up till 4 a.m, and then there's days I get to take off a little early too. So, but it's a lot of lonely time and a lot of lonely work, and it's hard, man. I know so many small business owners that just don't, they're one human and they try to be every human. So, mm-hmm. Every position on their team, just crazy.
Well, and you're always helping solve problems for people, even when it doesn't benefit you directly. He is totally that entrepreneur mm-hmm. mindset, where every time he meets someone, he finds out how he can help them, mm-hmm. even if it has nothing to do with what he's actually doing.
Yeah.
I run into that a lot. Like, how's that one guy that ever shows up from the automotive world, mm-hmm. especially from an independent shop and not like even a dealership, or like how you really segment like, my industry. Yeah, man, I'm like, how can I be a good referral partner? I mean, mm-hmm. it's a science, right? Like, how can I advocate for you in those rooms that I'm in? If I hear a lot of these, business problems, like talking to other business owners and stuff, it's huge, but I enjoy it. Like, I want to see small business succeed. I want to see it blow up. I just, like, I get to know some small business owners and like their pain. I've just been through it because I've helped build every position of my company. Like in the reality of where I'm at today, like I either own the company or I become a master tech. Those are the two things I have not necessarily done, but I've taken almost every level ownership beyond that too. So, yeah, I just try to be an advocate for the local area. The South Sound is really near and dear to my heart. I've lived all over it. It's huge for me. So,
well, it's funny because I remember you specifically asking me if I thought that you'd be a good fit because you weren't an entrepreneur, and I kind of laughed. It's like, I think it'll be just fine. And point being is that you don't have to be an entrepreneur to have an entrepreneurial mindset, and you 100% do. And I mean, takes one to know one, man. I
So true,
it's
yeah.
funny because it's like, I mean, you can see it and instantly just like, yeah, like someday maybe you'll stay at Goods, maybe you'll do your own thing, but you'll be doing something. And that's the, I don't know. I love it. So when you asked me that, I just laughed. It's like, yeah, I think we'll be all right. All right. So let's get, I don't want to get negative here, but let's talk about some of the negatives, or just one. How about just tell me one challenge you both have to deal with. It could be one that you've overcome, or it could be one you're still facing right now day to day and trying to navigate through it. If you did get through it, how'd you get through it? If you haven't yet, what are you doing to get through it? Cheyanne, you want to go first?
Yeah. Still working through it.
Okay.
Biggest challenge, of course, and I think most business owners can relate to this, is I feel like I'm fighting every day to work on the business instead of inside of the business. And I'm tackling that right now through hiring people, getting them trained up, of course, working on workflows, and overall quality control of what the client is receiving. But it's still a challenge, especially we're only 2 years into it. And in some ways, I appreciate that I'm involved in so many other areas of HR because it forces my hand a little bit. I don't, frankly, have the time to be hyper involved.
I just recently had a podcast with Abe Fox, and the culture they're building, and it's just, if you really focus on that culture and the team, and you're really good, and you got to get lucky too, I think, that's when I think things start evening out a little bit. But I think things will get easier for you.
Yeah.
But
And I do have an amazing team.
yeah.
Yeah,
that's tough because you're
Yeah.
like, hope they don't watch this and be like,
Yeah.
oh, my team sucks.
They're amazing, and they know it, and they also
Yeah.
know I struggle with this. I lead with transparency, so there's nothing that goes on in the business that my team doesn't know about. And I will say that I try to give myself grace because where my business is right now was my 5-year goal, and it's only been 2 years.
Yeah.
So
Well, you're just an overachiever, so that's your problem. I'm just kidding. No.
Yeah.
That's, and so that fire, that feeling, I think we all have that,
Yeah.
and that's what keeps you going. That's why you got it done in 2 years and not 5.
Yeah.
So there's benefits to that. It sucks, but that I don't know, that you might have that forever. And that is probably what keeps you moving. And I don't
Yeah.
know. I hear that too. Like, people keep thinking that something magically is gonna happen where you're like, oh my gosh, look what I did. But for us, I don't think it stops. You always want to keep
Yeah.
building, and it's always something else. So I don't know.
That's
Probably wasn't great
probably
feedback,
true.
but
No, that's
but
what
you know
I
what?
needed to hear.
But you know what though? What matters is that you did something in 2 years that you thought would take 5.
Yeah.
And that to me is that's really exciting. Hold on to that thought, because when I come back, I have another question for you, and I hope I know the answer. All right, Zach, give it to us. What's the biggest challenge?
I feel like the hardest thing that I
Do you
dealt
get
with.
shy, your shyness? Is it your shyness?
Some rooms, man. Some rooms, I don't know. I got to get comfortable first. I got to get to meet people a couple of times. I need a couple
Really?
touch points,
Yeah.
and then I'll fire off, man. But
Well, you hide that part really well.
I try, man. Yeah, it's an effort. But yeah, I think one of the hardest things I've had to deal with is just getting out of survival mode. For so many years, when you are close to that bottom line, like for almost day to day for 4 years straight, any bad decision I made could have broken the company.
Yeah.
I mean, so like our Puyallup store is 13 bays and 11,000 square feet. That's a huge independent automotive shop. I'm still the biggest off Meridian in Puyallup. And it comes with a lot of challenges when it's hidden. But one tech makes a mistake and costs us $15,000. That's probably it. I'm out of compliance with L&I. That's and they can fine you up to per lift, right? Like that's your margin is so thin. So as I've the last year really stepped into 3 different phases of business development, I've had a couple of different challenges there. I've tried to curve and really build my team and get them ready for as we grow. Survival mode is one of those things. I come in and if you're always in that survival mode level of thinking, and you expect a new team, to uphold that level of seriousness across every system that you built, it's a tough thing. Because say I come in and I overstep my store manager and I correct a technician or something of, an employee that may not be doing something to policy or procedure, what that does to culture, what that can do, the danger in that, and not taking that collaborative approach with my store manager instead of saying, instead of just directly, overstepping him. I mean, it's a thing, man. Like the survival mode mentality has been the hardest thing. Letting go, really, of all the things that I helped build at every corner, at every different period of the business has been a tough one.
Yeah, I don't think that's going away either. I mean, I know I'm probably the worst person to ask, like, or not, you're not asking me, but to comment on this. But like that one's tough too. Those are two really, like, I think that people that are building businesses, they go through, and I don't know that it ever really goes away because it keeps you sharp. Those things keep you on edge, and I think that's what keeps you motivated moving forward. And I don't know if it's, and I can just relate to it because I don't know. I'm sure there's studies and people that have a lot of degrees around them that know all about this. I can just speak from my experience that those are two really critical things that keep you sharp and keep you moving forward. And like, there's days that I'm like, Jesus, I don't want to do this today. And then I'm like, ugh, but if I don't, like, then, you know what I mean? Like, everybody has those days that, like, I don't know, I'm oversharing on my side, but I just think there's certain things that you've got that happen or things that you've got to stay aware of that keep you moving, and that's what grows
100%.
the businesses. From my experience, I don't know. All right, let's talk about wins. Give me a win and tell me how it felt. And you gave me a win, but I'm curious if you've even celebrated that win yet. And how'd you celebrate it? Yeah, I was going to say. So that was my point.
That wasn't even the win that came to mind when you asked that question.
Yeah. See, so it's easier for people to tell you, see from the outside, and trust me, I get it. But that to me is a big win, and you haven't even clocked it as a win. That's not you. You're already feeling like there's, you know what I mean, like. And taking a step back, it's hard to do. All right, tell me about the win that you were going to use.
I had a client, brand new client, reach out. They needed an L&I audit support. And they were concerned about, they'd never had anybody help with HR before. And they were concerned they might be looking at about $100,000 in fines. Their colleagues in similar businesses had received some hefty fines along those lines. So they were prepared for the worst. And through this L&I audit, at the end of it, this was my win. Not only did they not end up owing $100,000, but they got $17 back from L&I.
That's a win right there. That might be the biggest win of your career.
That was a huge win for me.
Oh, yeah. Ellen, you owe me $17, and I want it in pennies.
It felt so good. I love working with L&I, but you just never know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
And we were definitely ready to spend $100K. And so when they got that check back, I think it felt like a lot more than $17.
Oh, I bet. That's a really, really heavy $17.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Well, congratulations.
Yeah.
All right, now you have 2 wins to celebrate. All right, Zach, tell me about a win that you've had.
Win, man. I think the biggest win for me is just the team that I've got. We won a couple of awards in last year, like, that were really cool. Like, I got the Innovator in Action Award from the Puyallup Sumner Chamber. That meant the world to me, being very new with no like actual background or training in my position. So that meant a lot. Then we won the Champions of Commerce Award too for 2025. That was really cool. The fact that I could go out there, do work, and win that for my team, especially my leadership team, because it's been a long journey. I remember the meetings where we were red in the face with each other, and we were this close to not being a team anymore. But the biggest win that I've got is the culture at my business. And it speaks to the louder issue in my industry, especially in automotive mechanical repair specifically. Just the lack of culture and where that's gone, and you and I could talk all day about that. But we had a long run in building the right team. I always say it's not about how, it's about who, and that's been my motto for the last 3 years. Even when I was just hiring, a starting level service advisor or whatever, like I need to know that I'm hiring the person that can help people through tough things. But yeah, I can go to my new Lakewood store. I can go to my Puyallup store, and don't get me wrong, I catch a lot of grief. I'm just that guy that shows up and does all the funny videos every once in a while to a lot of these new guys that weren't there, when I was still like in the trenches on the day to day with them. But the culture is fun. Everybody's laughing. Everybody has a good time. Everybody wants to be there. And I think, especially again for my industry, that is like we kind of stumbled into that, just in our approach that we've always kind of upheld. And now it's just about keeping that, maintaining it, and growing that. So, growth, everybody wants growth to be that really nice curve, you know what I mean? So, but I wouldn't have been able to accomplish any of those things without my team. Yeah. Like the fact that I can be out and about and I don't need to be handling some goofy automotive repair, like something's holding a part up, or like I have the team and the guys that can handle that, which is really awesome.
Do you remember when she introduced you and she said that the first thing you do is go in and try to help people? You put people first, and that's one of the reasons why you're so good at what you do.
Our slogans were in the
and
people
that's
business.
why I was joking about your team. You put your team first, but it's obvious that you do that because you won't even take credit for the things that you went out and did, which is good. And I think it's a team win, and I love team wins. I think that's fantastic, but I think that your mentality and how you operate, you're building a culture, and I can feel it right now. We're having these conversations, and I can instantly tell what it would be like going over to Goods right now. Okay, so clearly you guys both want to scale. You just recently opened a Lakewood shop not too long ago, and Cheyanne, you've done in 2 years what you thought we're going to do in 5. Give me something that was supportive in that. What's something that you did, or what's something that happened that allowed you guys to scale, or is allowing you to scale?
I think for me, my 5-year plan when I started the business was to focus on, I had these numbers in mind of how I would scale and how I would grow to where I am already. And I got so busy focusing on the people that I was putting around me and how that work was being produced and making sure that the client was actually happy. I never fully rolled out my business development plan. I just focused on doing good work and being with good people, and everyone else did all the BD for me. To be perfectly honest, I feel like he's done a lot of it. Mm-hmm. And just the circle of people that I open up to and that I trust, and at the end of the day, when people want help, I just try to do really good work for them. And that has really scaled the business. And now as I'm hiring and building a team, focusing on them and how, a lot of the meetings that I have with my team, the first thing I ask them is like, what can I do to help you? And that's how I think then they're able to serve clients better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say the one thing strategically that we did that really opened up the ability to expand and then now really focus on our systems of operations and systems of people, because when you expand and everything lives in your head as a company, you learn very quickly that isn't going to maintain for the long run. So but we started playing to strengths. Like my boss isn't out here trying to network and get to know a bunch of people and lead the marketing plan and really figure out how to sell the brand, what we're about, and the company as we move forward. He's more focused on the day-to-day operations, crunching a lot of numbers, and keeping track of like all our KPIs. And he's an amazing leader, a great coach, really focusing in that individually on like members of my team. And then the owner of my company, he's the best master tech I've ever worked with. I always say we're tech forward and people first. That's how I push for my company, but like his focus is very good with all the really technical tasks. Being a person who built a company with your own 2 hands, literally in every single repair. That guy is great for the day-to-day setup, how things are going to function and click and turn and move. And, so we really just started playing to strengths, and that's when everything changed.
Very good. Well, those sound like great reasons for why you guys are scaling, and it explains the results here. You guys have both been to Tacoma Rising events. I think you've been to I don't know what event you've been to. I don't mean to call you out,
Call me out. It's okay.
But it doesn't matter whether or not you've been to an event, but you were a huge advocate when we were working on the challenge. And Zach, you've been to multiple events, but you've not only been there, you've actually rolled up your sleeves and you've helped at least 2 of them that I can recall, the challenge and even last Friday when we were out on the 7048. You guys don't have to do those things. Why did you? Zach, you want to go first?
Yeah, I always say my mom raised me right. You know what I mean? But at a deeper level, man, it really is just like the focus of Tacoma Rising, you know, and just what you guys focus on. There comes a point where you can network everywhere and you can network yourself into a black hole. It's the same thing with marketing. You can put paid ad money behind anything, but if you're only looking for the transaction, like that's where culture lives in, you know, will die quickly, you know. And it comes to like where Tacoma's at, man. Like I think that really Tacoma doesn't have this great direction, you know, and leadership. I mean, you're just leading this kind of new wave of energy that's coming down here. I mean, obviously there's some regional things that play into that. I actually learned a lot about that from your podcast, and compared notes to other people I know that focus on economic development and the focus. But I feel like Tacoma Rising is taking some leadership in where Tacoma can go, and nobody else is, you know, stepping up to the hard questions. Most people run from them. They don't want to talk about that at certain groups of networking. I mean, these are the things that, like, man, if the least I could do is help with a parking lot or clean up or whatever, man, like it's a little piece I can do to help the greater mission of like the local area. You know, I mean, I grew up in Pierce County, you know, in Tacoma, in different like suburbs of Tacoma, off the Pacific Avenue run of things. Man, Tacoma needs direction. Tacoma needs leadership, and we need a business culture that supports all those things, and then can advocate, you know, through your civic leadership or you know, anybody and everywhere just around the South Sound. So I think that's huge. That's a simple reason why for me. You know, you're doing great work, and I just want to be there to help support it.
Well, thank you, because you've been super supportive.
I don't really know how to follow that.
Yeah, I was like, good luck.
I
Should we
think
go to the next question? No, just kidding.
for me, it's personal. I'm the 3rd generation born, raised here in Tacoma, Pierce County area. My great-grandfather, he owned an auto wrecking yard back in the day, out of Pioneer. My grandfather and my grandma, they met, actually lived next door to each other. It was really cute. When they were 7, they used to play wedding. And then they were married over 50 years, right?
Wow.
Sound like all that practice worked.
It must have. That's the key, I guess. But our family has always just been really big on supporting our community and where we're from. And so that's one of the reasons I think I even went into HR, was to help both business and people. It's that balance. It's why I teach, is to give back and help people find opportunity. And so when I'm networking with you, you have so many different opportunities for people. And the fact that I get to help share that excites me. And I haven't actually physically come to any of your events yet. My calendar is fun, to say the least. But I
thought you were going to say clearing up, but no pressure.
It's not. But the good news is I learned your events are planned in advance, and I have things on there that are 6 months out now so that I can be there. But that's why I love pushing them, and Cascade will always support wherever I can. It's worth it.
Well, and that's a great point, because you sponsored the challenge too. So, and you guys did too. So the reason I asked the question, and it was more or less, I do this because I like working with people like you guys, and I love hearing the stories. I love getting to tell the stories. I love having the conversations. I love watching people grow. Like, I like businesses grow. If I could quit everything and just do Tacoma Rising, I probably would, because I really enjoy. That's the favorite part. That's why I do so much, and figure out how to make money elsewhere. But but no, I love doing it, and I feel like, obviously, the way you guys are, I feel like there's a part of that you enjoy too. And I think, and that was the whole point around Tacoma Rising, was to get those people together, because I think if we get a lot of those people together, we can do so much more, because everybody wants to do it, and it's fun. You'll be at the Kickstarter if you're on this. I hope I'd be Zach
November.
on his own.
I think the calendar invite is on his. I think we've got it.
Yeah, that's it.
It's funny. But to that, you don't have to. I just gave I don't know if I'd call it a speech, but a pitch at the 7048 last Friday, and basically my thing is that participate. You don't have to come to all of our events. You don't have to sponsor, but I mean, would love for you to sponsor. If you're a business, an organization, whatever, we'll take your money. But just kidding. But seriously, it's not about raising money. It's about liking something you see on social media, reposting, putting a comment out there. And it doesn't have to be Tacoma Rising stuff. It's just, if you see something good out there, support it, because that's something that Tacoma, I don't think, has done a great job at over the years. I think we are very proud of Tacoma, but I don't think we don't tell that story. We don't send that message out, and we keep it tucked in. I think it would be helpful if we get that message out, and so that's why I was asking, more or less. Still on Tacoma, I recently did a LinkedIn post, and I don't know if you guys saw it, but basically I said, listen.
I voted.
Did you? You did, yes. And you voted correctly. Basically, the poll was, if you were starting a business in 2026, where would you plant your flag? And there was four places. We said Tacoma, Bellevue, Everett, and Seattle. And I don't know if you saw the results. I think I've mentioned them before, and I'm sure you saw it if you voted. Tacoma took 53%, where 10 years ago, it would have probably switched places with what happened with Seattle, because Seattle only took 7%, which is horrendous. Now, something has happened over time. I feel that the 53% might be a little light, but that's solid. It's a really good number. How does it feel to you? Do you feel like Tacoma is a place right now that doing business here is going well? Like, do you like being in Tacoma? Do you feel like Tacoma is right for business? Do you think the poll was accurate?
I would say yes. I do a lot of business throughout Pierce County. Really, we have clients all the way through Southern California and then over to Indiana. But the majority of our clients are in Washington, and most of them are in Pierce County. And this area has so much to offer for businesses, especially when it comes to collaboration. And I think that's why Tacoma won over those other cities, and why so many people are leaning toward that, is when you come here, you realize that it's not just competition where you're trying to squash somebody. It's actually people trying to support one another, because we're all just trying to achieve the same thing, doing good work and providing for our families. And that's where I feel like, as a business owner, Tacoma is one of the best places to go.
Our slogan is, let's complement, not compete.
Yeah, I love that.
And that's something I've been saying that since I first started Tacoma Rising. Like, we don't always have to compete on everything. Like, I think competition is great, but I think working together and competing together is a lot better and a lot healthier, and that will help Tacoma.
I think, like, even just following that too, man, like, there's something especially about downtown Tacoma right now. The energy is there. Yeah. There's like, I texted her on the way here. I was like, there's some electricity in the air today, man. I just feel it. It just feels like it's going to be a good time. I feel like Tacoma is the same place for two different things right now. I always say collaboration is 1 + 1 = 3. Collaboration and culture is 1 + 1 = 5. Like, it's one of those things that, like, that's where you really get that net gain for a brand, for a business, for growth, for direction when you start. And Tacoma just seems to be the hot spot for both of that, from my experience right now. And then, I like compliment. That's good. That's a good way to put it. Because you still want competition. You still want, like, oh man, I want that other automotive shop to make me feel like I'm, their content might be a little better, but still funny, and I can still have a good relationship with them. So
you want them to make you earn it.
Yeah.
Like, and then I think that's the thing. You push each other, and you make each other better. Like, there's other organizations in town. Like, I don't want them to go away. I want them to push and push, because if I can help them push harder, because we didn't exist 5 years ago, and we didn't start making I would say we'd making an impact, but the last 2 or 3 years we've started to develop, and I think that helps push others to push and be better, and I think that's what competition should do. It doesn't mean we want them. I don't want them to go away.
Yeah.
I want them to just get better. Not that they were bad, but if we're all getting better, that's how Tacoma gets better. So I think that's a really good point.
Yeah.
What? Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say the competitive side in me is also like, if you're really doing a good job, you shouldn't be scared of competition.
Yeah.
I stand behind everything I do, right?
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of times I also, though I network with people in my industry, other HR consultants, there is so much work to be done.
Yeah.
I refer business to other companies that are technically my direct competition all the time. And I think that's healthy.
I think it's really healthy. It's a nice way of saying, hey, I'm a little too busy. Here you go.
I always say too, like, you know, who you work with, like on the collaborative front. Like, you know, I only work with one videographer. There's amazing videographers, you know.
I know a guy.
You know, but him and I, you know, my videographer and I have like an amazing collaborative relationship. Like, we feed off of each other and that energy, and that's what bleeds into the content, which then bleeds into our marketing strategy. And then, you know, that's what people are going to see, you know. I mean, it's just one of those things, man. Like, that's huge for me. So, but, you know, you may not always be like the right fit, I guess, right? There might be a company that lands on your docket like, hey, you know what, maybe this isn't, you know, I'm not the right fit for you, but I know an HR consultant that probably is. It's the same thing for an automotive shop too. You know, I'm glad to have other shops, especially in like the East Pierce County area, that I can refer to. You know, that might be a little closer for my customer, might be a better fix or a better, you know, solution. Because at the end of the day, man, it's just a service-based business, right? Like, we're trying to provide that service, and really maintaining that customer centricity is huge.
Yeah.
So.
I know that's one thing I run into a lot is nothing I do is a template. Like Cascade, everything we do is personalized. But some companies don't want that. They want the template. They want the quicker, easy to access type support. And then the other thing I found is that I'm very faith forward about my business. And that also just isn't for everybody. And so I like that you said it's also just sometimes you're not aligned, and that's okay too. Yeah.
I feel like we talk about the beer test, and if I can sit down and have a beer with you, then I'll probably like working with you. But if I can't do that, I don't want to work with you, or I won't be a good fit.
Yeah.
And it's different in our line of work than it is probably in Zach's, because, you know, there's different. Ours is probably more personal because we're doing a lot of relationship, where yours is more service oriented and around the car industry. I'm not being very articulate here, but
No, you're 100%.
You get it,
You're
right?
110% right.
it.
Like,
They're
business
different.
development, business development as a
terrible.
whole seems to be
It
this
was
like,
great.
we're leaving it in too.
yeah, it just seems like it's a whole unexplored level of professionalism in my industry, and I think that speaks to the greater issues in my industry, which I could go on all day about.
I don't like working with people in general that I don't want to be friends with and enjoy that time. And I think that is really important to me, that I want to build a relationship, because if I'm going to give my time working with somebody, I want that time to be an investment too. So I can hand them off to someone else being like, yeah, you should work with this person. So I try to keep that group of people that I work with people with that nature, because I want them to grow. Like, if you're working with people you usually want them to succeed.
Yeah.
And if you can't pass them off to other people because they're just not a good, you know what I mean? Like, I just deal with it because, you know, of this reason. I feel like you got to have a good relationship. But that's me, and then probably old school of that. What does Tacoma look like in 10 years on the business side of things? Are we 1 million people, or are we? I'm just kidding. We're not going to be 1 million people.
I hope so.
Yeah, maybe. What?
I hope we have healthy growth. 1 million sounds like a lot.
That's 4 times. I mean, we're 230,000.
Shoot for Mars, land on the stars, man.
Yeah.
I don't think our roads would be there yet.
Yeah, man, it'll be interesting to see, you know, just the shift, politically, even I just feel like a lot of small businesses are really coming here, maybe not even because it's necessarily friendly, but just because of the energy, and they can find a home here. And there's so much untapped potential in Tacoma and just the South Sound as a whole. So I think maybe we see more of an identity for being like a I don't want to say like Charleston, but Charleston really feels like a city. We were talking about that earlier, but feels like a city where there are so many small businesses. It feels like a small town, but it's a big city. Like it took me days to explore, maybe it becomes something like that where, you're there's just so many small businesses with so many different unique approaches and innovative thinking. I think that's really the direction it's heading. I think we're going to shed a lot of this like grit city feeling a lot. And, it's always going to be here, but a lot of that, like whatever that negative perception of Tacoma, I think will melt away.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really good things about Tacoma, and there's a lot to be proud about in Tacoma. And I think there's people that are very proud people here too as well. And I just don't like the negative messages that Tacoma Roma and all this other stuff that have been passed down. Fear Tacoma, I really don't like that one. But that being said, like you didn't get a chance to answer, but feeding off of that, I just think that it's on the rise. Did you hear that? Did you see where I went with
I
that?
love it.
That's pretty good. Go ahead.
I would say that I also agree along the lines of what Zach was saying. I think Tacoma is rising.
Yeah, there it is.
And specifically, I think...
I get $1 every time someone says it.
So if I say it 5 more times, I get a coffee. Is that...
Yeah. Maybe not the downtown shops.
Every piece of content I do for like my language store or whatever, I'm just going to be like, yeah, and we're rising toward Tacoma. Like, 'cause my third shop will probably be out here. So, yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But I do think, especially, people don't really like bringing it up, but COVID happened.
Yeah.
It shifted a lot. And I think one of the things that it shifted was the drive for that small business community. And I think that's part of where even your number from your survey comes from is people want people.
Yeah.
They want to be able to know who they're buying their cup of coffee from. All of the coffee shops that I support, I actually physically go there and I get to know the people that work behind the counter. And I see that continuing to happen in Tacoma where...
Massively.
Yeah.
Again, just had a podcast with another group, and we were talking about the difference of being in Seattle versus Tacoma. And the Seattle piece was you're going there for experience as a restaurant, and going there for that experience because, the service is good and whatnot. In Tacoma, I'm going because I know the general manager, I'm popping in, I'm going to see them, or I know the servers know me, and it's nice when you walk in, they're like, hey, Reed, what's going on? Where's Weston? Or something like this, which I get that a lot. Weston's my son. Where like that stuff feels really good, or they know my order or something like that. And there's a lot of restaurants that we go to that they know, and it's been building this community, and that is getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And I think that's what builds Tacoma. And if we can be a part of that, like pulling that together, that's what I want, where I want to be. That's where I want us to land. So
I agree. Love it.
All right, last question. If you were to give advice to someone who's either about to start their business or wanted to scale their business, and go either way, what would you give them?
My first piece of advice for someone that's thinking of starting it is to just take the leap. It is so scary at first, and I think that is part of it. If you don't feel a little scared, I don't think you're not probably doing it correctly. You need to be a little scared. But take the leap and then truly just lean in. Unless you're Coca-Cola or something, there's not a secret trademarked recipe that you can't talk about. Like, let's talk about our businesses. Let's talk to the community. Everyone that I've talked to has only helped me.
Yeah.
And so I think encouraging people to not be scared, to lean into the community.
Excellent.
Yeah, I'd say, especially for like somebody really just beginning to start their business and say they got a little bit of traction, don't be afraid to do it differently. Don't do what everybody else is doing, because that's that point of parity when we talk about brands and, really like operational structures and stuff. Obviously, like at an automotive shop, you want to be trustworthy. Well, everybody can throw that banner up and say we're about people, but you know, how do you live that?
Yeah.
Do it differently. Go for the moon, because just even in like my approach, how I ran a shop. I mean, I had mentors tell me that I was going to fail just from the industry that knew me, and I was like, oh, dude, why would you do it like that? That's a weird, like, there's A, B, C, D, take a leap, right? Do it differently too. Don't be your competition. Be you. You know what I mean? Like, there's no reason to fear doing something differently. Is it easy? No. Are you going to learn a lot of hard things? Absolutely. But yeah, just do it in a way that you can go home at night and sleep and know that that is what's going to end up becoming and telling a story of your brand identity. And then that is what will bleed into every marketing channel, every piece of content you do, every word of mouth referral. Like, that is core, you know? So yeah, just don't be afraid to do something new. Do something completely opposite of what everybody tells you should be doing. There's a lot of noise in the world, you know? So.
Very well said. Well, guys, that's all I have today. That was excellent. You guys had great answers today. I gave you an A+ as a team effort. Very impressed. Very impressed.
Studied.
Hey man, you gotta keep up. You gotta stay sharp. You know. No man, thanks for having me. This has like been a super cool experience. And again, I just think what you're doing is, again, direction for Tacoma. Like, Tacoma's needed it my entire life as somebody who's local. So just thanks for having it, and thanks for putting the time and energy in.
Yeah.
For sure, I love it. And thank you guys for coming. I really appreciate it. And thanks for doing the Kickstarter. And thanks for all the support you guys have done so far. I mean, all the help, the sponsorships, being here today. It's really meant a lot, and I'm glad I've gotten to know you guys over the last year or so. So thank you.
Well, thank you. I had no idea what to expect coming into this, and it was an amazing experience. Love the energy in here and love everything you're doing. So thank you.
You're welcome. These cameras actually aren't even running, but
hey, I'm serious about that.
that's funny. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much.